Reports are breaking out that the Los Angeles Lakers are looking at Nick Nurse as a potential replacement for Frank Vogel. So in today's video, we're going to look at the possibility and likeliness of Nurse leaving the Raptors to go to LA. Let's get into it.
Game Series Canada, the NBA title is yours.
What's going on, everybody? It's Jacob here, back with Amateur Hour Sports for another Toronto Raptors YouTube video. If you want the greatest coverage and analysis on the latest Toronto Raptors news, then you need to be subscribed to Amateur Hour Sports, especially as we are getting ready for the playoff run. And also, this video is powered by Betstamp. Use the Betstamp app for the best sports bet tracking and odds finding. Use the Betstamp app to find which sportsbook is offering the best price to get the maximum value out of all of your wagers. Use the link in the description to download the Betstamp app and use code RAPS on signup to let them know that I sent you there. Let's get into our video for today. We are talking about the rumors surrounding Nick Nurse going to the Los Angeles Lakers. Early reports are suggesting from, I would say, decently credible sources. There's no legitimate source that's really confirming everything that we're hearing at the moment, but there is a little bit of noise that would suggest that, yeah, the Los Angeles Lakers are definitely interested in bringing in Nick Nurse. And to be honest, I don't think we needed reports to suggest that this was a very distinct possibility. Nick Nurse hasn't been in the NBA long as a head coach, but in that time, he has won an NBA championship, he has been the coach of the year, and he turned a Toronto Raptors team that was expected to win 33 and a half games this year into one that won 45 plus, and that is hugely impressive. So there's going to be a lot of teams in the NBA who want Nick Nurse as their head coach, especially a Los Angeles Lakers team who was a title contender going into the season and didn't even make the play-in tournament. I don't know if by the time this video comes out, if Frank Vogel will still have a job, but regardless, Frank Vogel is going to get fired by the Lakers in this offseason. There's no doubt about it. It was a hugely disappointing season, and the reason for its disappointment, I mean, obviously, not even making the play-in tournament as a team that was one of the favorites, if not the favorite to win the NBA championship, at least a favorite to come out of the Western Conference. That's enough of a disappointment, but I think what was more disappointing about this team was the on-court product. The Lakers were very clearly a talented team that did not have the work ethic to play defense properly. I think that's just the biggest thing. The hustle plays weren't there for the Lakers, and they just did not maximize their potential. And I think that, sure, a lot of the players are going to be blamed for that, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of that is going to be on Frank Vogel. Despite having won a championship with the Lakers, finishing outside the playing positions is pretty inexcusable, and I fully expect him to lose his job. So the Lakers are going to be looking for a replacement. And like I said, the biggest things for the Lakers this season were probably the hustle and the defense that were wrong. And if there's one thing that a Nick Nurse team embodies, it's hustle and it's defense. So what we want to talk about in today's video is, first of all, we want to discuss Nick Nurse's fit with the Lakers, how he would do with the Lakers if he were to take that job. We're going to talk about what that means for the Raptors, and we also are going to discuss what is the probability and likeliness of this actually happening. So to get started, what would Nick Nurse do to the Lakers? Nick Nurse is clearly a very, very good coach. He seems to overachieve with what he has with the Raptors, and this season is an absolute testament to that. Like I was saying earlier, Vegas set the Raptors over-under on wins at about 33 and a half. They have absolutely blown that projection away, and the Raptors are only going to get better from here if Nick Nurse is going to stay on as their coach. The Nick Nurse setup is all about defense. Nick Nurse is a very defensive-minded coach. It is a defense-first mentality 100% for this Toronto Raptors team. They also, like I said, aren't always the most talented team. Maybe they overachieve. That has a lot to do with, again, the defense and also the hustle that they display. Now, giving Nick Nurse the tools that the Los Angeles Lakers could in terms of, let's say, giving him LeBron James, giving him a former perennial DPOY candidate, Anthony Davis, and I'm sure if he can stay healthy, he can get back to that level. Nick Nurse going to LA where he can implement this ideology and these tactics with the team, I think he would be a phenomenal coach, and I can fully understand and see why the Lakers want to bring him in to replace Frank Vogel. It makes a ton of sense. I think it would be a great fit for the Lakers. And like I said, what he's done with the Raptors without maybe all the tools that the Lakers have in terms of their market capabilities and a free agent market, their ability to make trades, this would be a great chance for Nick Nurse. What would this mean for the Raptors? Well, it would be a big problem. Nick Nurse really embodies and has bought into what Masai Ujiri wants to do with this team. Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster, the general manager and president of the Raptors, they both want to construct this like all-forward team, athletic two-way players, positionless. They want to construct that team with the Raptors, and Nick Nurse has bought into that mindset. He wants to use that as well. The way Nick Nurse likes to deploy his defensive schematics, which have been so effective in his short NBA career, it involves a lot of switching, it involves a lot of rotation. So having the positionless system caters definitely to what Nick Nurse does. And the team, like I said right now, has been built for Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse came on to the Raptors after a disappointing playoff loss to the Cavaliers in 2018, and in his first year as a rookie coach, having been hired from within as an assistant, he won an NBA championship, something only 2 coaches, including himself, have ever done. A rookie NBA championship coach. And beyond the defense, Nick Nurse is also a great offensive mind with a great group of people helping him, but Nick Nurse definitely knows what he's doing on both ends of the court. So, are there some deficiencies to his coaching? Sure. I think drawing up the final play of the game is something that Nick Nurse isn't the best at, among a few other things. But ultimately, I love Nick Nurse as a Raptors coach. Finding a replacement for him, finding somebody who buys into the system that Masai Ujiri wants to run with this team is going to be very, very difficult for the Toronto Raptors, who have been building this for the last 2 years, and everything is really, really clicking right now. I'm so excited for what the future holds. The Raptors would probably be in trouble, but what is the possibility of Nick Nurse actually leaving the Toronto Raptors to go to the Lakers? Like I said, Nick Nurse has planned the way he runs his teams. It is absolutely defense first. It is absolutely hustle plays. Like, that is what he wants from his players. If he goes to the Lakers, given the team they have right now, Nick Nurse is just flat out not going to get that from the players. Over the course of an entire offseason, does Nick Nurse have the capabilities to, really instill that ideology within the team? Absolutely, 100%. He absolutely has, he can do that. I mean, look at what he did in his first season as head coach with the Raptors. He's fully capable of turning the ship around in LA, and that is probably something that is intriguing. Going to the Lakers, like, that is the biggest market in the basketball world. The Lakers are the top tier. If anybody knows an NBA team, they know the Los Angeles Lakers. So, yeah, there's a really good opportunity here for Nick Nurse if the Lakers really want to pursue him. But I feel like, unbiasedly, as a Raptors fan, I know, but I feel unbiasedly like Nick Nurse really buys into the group of players that the Raptors have and really buys into the future that they have. Going to LA, you're really going to get put into a tough spot when LeBron James 100% leaves at the end of his contract. Like, 100%, I mean, not 100%, but I feel fairly confident LeBron James is going to be done there. And there is a ticking clock with the Lakers, the way they've drained out their assets and the age of the players on that team. It's not a good long-term situation for them. And, even though they can't get much worse than they were this season, they'll probably be better next season. But again, it is a very short-term window for any sort of success, whereas the Raptors right now have a very, very long-term window of success given how young this team is. Only one player on the current team is over 30 years old. That player is Thaddeus Young, and his contract is up at the end of the season. Nick Nurse also has a lucrative deal with the Raptors. When he signed it, it made him the highest paid coach in the league. I'm not quite sure if he still is the highest paid coach, but Nick Nurse, he's got the money with the Raptors. He's got the long-term possibility of success. And out of the Lakers and the Raptors, who is more likely to win their next NBA championship? If it's next year, it's probably the Lakers. After that, it's probably the Raptors by a considerable margin. And I expect the Raptors to get even better next season and maybe build off of their 5th seed from this year. So overall, financially, Nick Nurse is well taken care of. He's got a great group of players that, that team is really built for him, and it makes sense for him to stay in Toronto. So I would say the possibility of Nick Nurse leaving probably isn't great, but you really just never know when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers. Like, the Lakeshow giving you that call must be just an extraordinary thing. And the temptation of just being a part of that organization at some point in your career is very tempting. And I expect Nick Nurse to be tempted, but ultimately, the reports that are coming out are suggesting the Lakers aren't exactly confident in getting this hire. It's merely like they're just going to ask the Raptors, hey, we want Nick Nurse. Do you think we can make something happen? I would say for Raptors fans, this is probably something that you're going to want to keep your eye on, but ultimately, I just can't really see this happening. The focus right now is definitely on the playoffs. We'll see what sort of rumors come after the playoffs, after the Raptors are either eliminated or maybe they go into the NBA championship. But something that definitely you should just think about, maybe just kind of keep in the back burner. Like, okay, this is a possibility of happening, but ultimately I would feel confident in saying that Nick Nurse will be the head coach of the Raptors at the start of next season. So what do you guys make of these reports that the Lakers want to bring in Nick Nurse? Do you think it's possible, and how likely do you think it is? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, because that is it for me for today's video. Thanks so much for watching this video. Drop a like if you did enjoy this video. Let's get to 300 likes on this video. I know we are capable of doing it if you can help us get there. And also, if you want the greatest coverage and analysis on the latest Toronto Raptors news, then you need to be subscribed to Amateur Hour Sports. Help us on a road to 9,000 subscribers. Join our Discord and a great community of Raptors fans with the link down below, and sign up to Betstamp with code RAPS. Links for everything again in the description. I'll see you again next time for another video.